Paul, thank you for speaking to us. So, as we've heard there, only 2 of the former presidents out of 5, that is Blaise Compaore and Jean-Baptiste Ouedraogo, attended this meeting, a meeting aimed at national reconciliation. What do we make of this?
So, it's a strong statement to the junta, led by Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba, that this decision has been described in so many ways in negative terms, that it is not only risky but dangerous, it is insensitive, it is disrespectful of the spirit of Thomas Sankara, who was killed, in 1987. And Compaore, who has been invited, who has been in exile for 8 years, was implicated and has actually been tried and jailed, given a life sentence in absentia. So I think it's a wrong, ill-advised, it's a wrong decision. And I think the leaders probably are speaking, those who boycotted are speaking for the population. Remember that Compaore was chased out of Burkina Faso by what you call people power, a protest that was, about millions of Burkinabes participated. And then for him to be, this man to have been jailed in absentia, and then instead of being arrested, instead of being repatriated to come and serve the term, here we have him receiving what you almost a heroic welcome. So it is in bad taste. Lawyers to Sankara are saying that Compaore should have been arrested and not be treated the way he's been treated. And I guess the leaders that are boycotting this are now speaking, siding with the people.
Paul, you have touched on Blaise Compaore and mentioned, as we've heard, that he was sentenced to life in jail for the murder of Thomas Sankara. Why then do you think the military invited him?
That is the question that they have to answer. This was a man that was chased out, that he ruled for 27 years. And at the tail end of his regime, he became a dictator. And there were, in fact, during the protest, before his fleeing to Côte d'Ivoire, many people died. And those people, those victims are demanding, their families are demanding for justice. Plus, the Sankara's wife, widow, is still there. His lawyers are there. They pursued a case to get this justice. And Compaore has been indicted and convicted, sentenced to life. So what, I don't know, perhaps there is an unseen hand that is pushing Henry Paul and his men to go into all this. Maybe there's something they are not telling Burkinabes, and it is not going to bode well for them. I think they should allow Compaore to return if they are not willing to arrest him and then make him face the consequences of his action.
Right, and Paul, given these developments, it would seem that the junta do not have a clear plan to move forward with the transition. Do you get a sense that this is the case, and what next for the country's reconciliation efforts?
It looks very much so. They have come out with a 24-month transition, which they, sent to the ECOWAS, the regional organization, that allowed ECOWAS to say, okay, we are free, you can go with it. But instead of pursuing that transition, they are now entering into what you call distraction that they can ill afford. What is there? What is Compaore bringing to the table? They say he's to participate in reconciliation of former heads of state. I think these people are not telling the truth, and it's going to backfire. It will boomerang on them, and it's not going to be. I think if they mean business, they remove the Compaore, President Mark Christian Compaore, who, by the way, was also invited to this meeting, and he didn't show up to tell you how unpopular this decision is. They removed him, saying that his government was weak and was unable to fight the jihadists, the those who have been killing both soldiers and civilians since 2015. And that the people expected as soldiers, they will be able to tackle the insecurity problem. But instead of that, they are now looking for, carrying an elephant on the head and then kicking, an ant. So I think if for whatever reason, it is unpopular, it is ill-advised, it is risky, and it is dangerous, I think they better retrace their step and pursue the transition and go back to the barracks. That is what everybody, the Burkinabes are expecting them to do. That is what ECOWAS expects them to do. And that is what the world expects them to do.
All right, Paul, thank you very much for those updates. Paul Ejime, Global Affairs expert, joining us live from London following that meeting called between the former presidents of Burkina Faso.